Hello everybody, welcome to the channel J.I. Colorist. My name is Jody and I am super happy to be here today with you to share my February 2025 completed pages. I actually had a very productive month. Today is February 26th that I'm filming this, and I'm going to release it on the first Sunday of March. So the stats are going to stay as February. If I color anything else in the next couple days, we'll just call it March. I hope you are doing well. I hope you had a fantastic February yourself. And I just would like to start off with a few stats from our coloring planner. I have been having fun with this. I have actually added a couple of things I wanted to share with you. First off, I completed 27 pages in the month of February. I did 7 buddy colors. I did 11 prompts, so hopefully I will remember to acknowledge the people that were hosting those prompts. And I did 3 untouched books. So this is the graph that we're doing. I'm also keeping track separately on whether I have achieved my other goals, which was coloring in my foreign coloring book. So I actually did 5 pages in that. I did one 10 by 10, and I did do a Sarah Burns tutorial. I finished off tutorial number 1. So doing okay with that. Did complete a book, so we'll talk about that later. These in my untouched books, and I've done 4 so far this year, and I am coloring those in. This is something that I didn't share with you before that I wanted to mention, and that is I have taken, this was originally the books you colored in page, and I'm not keeping track of things like that, but I did want to keep track of my supplies used in 2025, and that's because I believe that if you have the supplies, you should be using the supplies. So I thought I wanted to challenge myself to remember that that's what I want to do. So I have written down all my different pencil sets that I have on this page and all my different water-based mediums on this side. And every time I use a different one, I'm filling in the top and checking them off. So far I've used 6 different pencils sets in the last 2 months and 6 different water-based mediums in the last 2 months. So I think that by the end of the year, I definitely want to have hit every single one. I don't think having supplies and not using them is a productive use of them. So this is going to ensure that I don't forget about some of the things that I have purchased, and I think it's going to keep me on track. So those are the things that I didn't mention before that I wanted to be sure to mention first. So let's take a quick look at February, and we might as well start with my first page of the month, and that is my planner page. And there is a new hashtag being hosted by Amanda Colors, who is also the creator of this coloring journal. So it's AC Planner February 2025, I believe, but I will be sure to link her channel and you can check her out as well. So thanks, Amanda. This page I did with some tempera paints, Copic markers and miscellaneous markers, and a little bit of gel pen. So just a cute, fun page. And I used a little bit of black glaze pen, this Jelly Roll glaze, to do some of the black highlights around the heart. It's just a fun, easy page and a little bit of washi tape to jazz it up. And then I did post this on Instagram, so I am counting that as one of my hashtags. So let's scoot on over to February. And here is what I accomplished in February. I did 8 different videos, so hopefully you were able to catch some of those. And like I mentioned, I did 27 pages, I believe. 27 pages. I also completed 3 crafts that I'm going to share with you. So here is all of my pages complete, and I include my crafts on them. I didn't think I'd use this many pages, so I was pleasantly surprised, especially since it was a short month. But I did, along with the 27 pages, I completed 11 hashtags. So I was pretty excited about that. I did touch, like I mentioned, 3 untouched books, and I want to welcome 220 new subscribers to the channel. I don't ask every month or I don't ask every video to like and subscribe. I kind of personally find it annoying to do that, but I am really happy to once a month say, if you enjoy what you're seeing on the channel, I sure would love you to hit subscribe and join along in this coloring community. We are a very supportive, non-judgmental, creative community, and I hope that you feel welcome here. And 220 people have found our channel. I am trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by April, which is my birthday month. So we are well on our way, and I am really excited to have that happen. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you haven't joined yet, I hope you consider it. All right, let's start looking at our pages. I do pages by size so that I'm not altering the camera a lot. So let me get back to here and we'll take a look at the pages I colored. We're going to jump right in and start with the mini block portraits. This is a Hatchet Heroes book by Disney. And I did this page, which is Robin Hood. And I did this for Spicy Cat Colors, Spicy Cat Disney. She picks a different Disney movie every month. So this was Robin Hood as a Disney character. I used some markers, some Pitt pens, and some ChromaFlow pencil for a bit of shading. And that's about it. I didn't think that there was kind of enough on the page, as per usual. So I did this green outline as a background and then used the marker to kind of make some dots in the center. So that is my page. And thank you very much, Kathy, for hosting this. I only really color Disney when it's a challenge for Kathy's channel. So this is the reason I even own this book. So thank you to Kathy for hosting that monthly challenge. All right, our next book is one of my books that is new, was previously untouched. And I did actually 4 pages in this book, and actually they were all in a row, which, you know, is a little bit surprising. This is called Hello Forest Friends. It's by Joe Boram. And because it's a new book to me, I have been trying to figure out what works best on this paper. It's a very thick paper, and I kind of thought, oh great, you know, watercolor medium would work really well. It doesn't seem to. So I've kind of been testing a few things out, and that's why I ended up getting 4 pages done in this book this month. And I also used a couple of hashtags for this. So this one in particular I used for Jamie's Coloring Love. She has a hashtag. The hashtag is called The Wild Year of Color 2025. This also goes towards my foreign books, which I am trying to spend some more time and love in. And for this page, I used Equaline markers along here. I used gel pens. Then I decided the Equaline markers didn't work that great. So then I switched to my polychromos and I blended with Gamsol. I also used some macaron pencils and a bit of Pitt pens. And I ended up being much happier with things after I started to blend them out. And it's a very toothy paper. And yeah, so happy with how this ended up turning out. And I did cover up a lot of the black lines with my Lango gel pens. But these were cute little monkeys. So I really think that the next month for Jamie's Coloring Love is monkeys. And so this book will be perfect for that. So shout out to Jamie for hosting these great hashtags. All right, the next page was my very first page. I did it the last day of January, so I had already filmed January's pages, so we're counting it as a February page. And this was done with ChromaFlow pencils and also the new Zig brushables, which I purchased from Stationery Pal. So Stationery Pal is a new affiliate of mine, and I did one unboxing, and then I also did a haul video which included some Stationery Pal items. But the brushables, I also used some white acrylic Holbein paint, and that's this stuff here. I just keep on my desk because I'm still having issues with white gel pens, and I'm not really sure what kind of character this guy is. So if you have an idea, leave that in the comments below. I wasn't sure if it was a squirrel or what, or some kind of chipmunk. I'm not sure. I don't have chipmunks here, so I'm not familiar with them. But I did like the way the page turned out. There was a little bit of ghosting when I did a lot of layers of the brushable, but that did seem to go away after it dried. And I have a little bit of ink up here. But overall, I was happy with it. And this, like I mentioned, was my very first page. So this counts as Color Your Hoard. So CYH Feb 2025. My next page, I was getting a little bit more daring. And then I was looking at this images here, and I decided I didn't like all the colors that were on this page, so I just went with my own colors on this side, and I tried using Prismacolor pencils this time, some Faber-Castell watercolor markers, gel pens, a little bit of glaze pen, and that's how this turned out. And I think that's what I'm going to do in the future, is just use this as kind of a nice guide, but not necessarily always replicate the colors, because I wanted my colors, my little guys, to be a little bit brighter than they were on this side of the page. So I like how that turned out, and it was kind of fun to treat each little item as a separate task, kind of like a small victory, I guess. And I apologize for a bit of the lighting here. It's sunny for a change, so pretty excited about that. Okay, and then this is my fourth page in this book, and on this page I used gelato for the background and two different colors mixed together to get that kind of moody night sky. And I used Prismacolor pencils and a white gel pen and a little bit of Lango gel pens here and there. I think he turned out awfully cute. And I didn't blend on the koala himself. I wanted the texture of the paper to show through, because that also helped make it look like a furry texture. So I'm actually really happy with how that turned out, and I think the page is adorable. I did blend the tree, and I did blend this little guy here, but the koala I left the way he was with just the pencil. And I think that worked out. And the white gel pen is obviously the little dots in the sky for stars. And those were my first 4 pages from Hello Forest Friends by Joe Boram. And this book is really cute. The paper is, like I mentioned, still trying to figure out. It's a little bit difficult, but I love the size of the book, and I'm still really excited to have it. This next book is no stranger to the channel. This is A Million Cute Animals, and I have completed 2 pages in it this month, but I also had the help of 2 great colorists, so I want to thank them for helping me out. The 2 colorists were Kiara from Paris and Ellie McGee from the States, and I will link Ellie's channel, formerly known as Pixie, in the video description. I want to thank both ladies. They ended up, I had 2 dog pages left, and I thought I had assigned different pages to each person, but I guess that wasn't the case. So we ended up having a 3-way buddy on 1 page, and then I did 1 page on my own. So I'll show you the 1 page that I did on my own, and then we will go through the buddy page together. So let me just cover this one up for now. So this is the page that I did on my own. I drew in, I created a bone stencil, a large bone, and then I put it on the page in a few different spots. I used Artex acrylic markers to actually paint the bones on the page in the background before I colored, and then I used a gold Staedtler pigment marker to do the gold outline. And then I used a little bit of ink also rubbed onto the background. So that was how the background came about. And then the rest of the page is done with my 4 Candies cheap pencils. Also some acrylic marker here from, again, Artex, and then some Staedtler pigment pens. and a little bit of Jelly Roll gel pen and a little bit of glaze. So just bring him up a little bit. I think he's adorable. Lots of different things. I'm calling this the British dog page, and had lots of fun. It was a page that I left to the very end, obviously, since these are the last 2 pages in the book, these 2 double pages. But I'm happy how it turned out, and I do think that the bones are fun in the background. And yeah, and so I used the dual gold metallic gel pen to do the tiny bones that were already there. And I thought the bigger bones just kind of tied the page together a little bit. So that's that page. I'm now going to show you the 2 pages that my buddies did for our next dog page, and they are... Okay, so on screen you will see Ellie's page, and Ellie did a fantastic job. I love how she did her 2 main dogs in the foreground of it, but I also really love how she added a floor and a baseboard into the background with the yellow as the wall. I think it really made it look more like a room, and kind of grounds the page. So well done, Ellie, and thank you so much for buddy coloring with me. The next page is Kiara's page, and Kiara did a fantastic job of very light colored dogs, and they look adorable. They look like they match. I also like the way she did her poodles in the picture frames behind against the wall. So well done, and her plant is just next level. So great job, Kiara, and thank you both to you ladies for helping me complete this book. Now my page is here, and I used my typical Staedtler pigment pens, a few Pitt pens, and the 4 Candies pencils, a little bit of dual hybrid, and some Jelly Roll gel pen. Now what you may see all these dots here are actually from my Stationery Pal. In the Stationery Pal boxes, they sprinkled this large tissue confetti in there. I actually saved those confettis, and I ended up gluing them to the page to make it a background. So it was just bright, fun, cheerful colors, and I thought that they matched with what was going on my color palette on the page, and so I just had fun with that. So that is my final page. You will find on my channel, and I published it this month, a complete book flip through of my completed book, A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. If you haven't checked it out, I hope you do. I know lots of people struggle with the paper in these books, but I really think that if you find a medium that works for you, these are fun books. They're a nice size, and they kind of suspend my imagination a little bit. I have trouble thinking sometimes outside the box. I am an accountant at heart, so these kind of books are just a fun diversion for me, and I'm happy to share the completed flip through with all of you. All right, let's see what else I colored in February. Okay, the next small book that I was colored in February was I Love Christmas, and yes, this is not the Christmas season. However, I wanted to demonstrate some tempera paint sticks, and I just had a hankering to do a page in this book. I was in this book showing you that I did this page with tempera paint sticks in December, so I wanted just to show you how easy it was. So there is a video on my channel that was posted last Sunday, and that is how I color with tempera paint sticks in my books. So I did this page partially on screen with you. The tempera paint sticks that I use are from Craftsmart, and they are a narrower version of the paint sticks. A lot of these come in a short glue stick size, which are quite a bit thicker, so I just have the narrow ones because I actually color right in my book with them. You want to make sure you snap the cap on really well. But yeah, so this was done, and hopefully you can see some of the shine, and the shine is from the metallic gold, and that is just straight on top of the white paper. Then I also have, these are also metallic. I used a silver Sparkle Pop gel pen for the clangers, and some black glaze for the dots in the flowers. So most of this was done with the tempera paint sticks, including even these tiny areas. I did use for the yellow here, the yellow berries on this one. I did use a Staedtler fine liner. So that is another page completed with tempera paint sticks in I Love Christmas. The next two books each have 2 pages done in them, and this is the Traveling Tales Europe. So this is I only have 3 Bold and Easy coloring books, and they were all by Traveling Tales. So this is the first page. This is done with ink blending on the background, some Copic miscellaneous markers, a stencil for the little spaceships, and some dual hybrid gold, and a little bit of pencil on the shading of the moon. So these Bold and Easy coloring books, totally, I'm getting used to. I'm kind of adapting to them. They're not totally my style in that I normally do more elaborate type stuff. So what I've taken on is the challenge of adding backgrounds to them, so to make them a little bit more challenging and interesting to me. This one was also, I thought it was an adorable page, and I did it for Valentine's because we've got little Mr. Hedgehog here looking adoringly at a pine cone, and I thought that was quite funny. I also wanted to test, this guy is done with alcohol markers, and this is solely done with pencils, and I'll tell you which ones it was done with. It was done with my 4 Candies pencils and a little bit of Posca. And I have just recently purchased the Posca 1 MR, and it is 0.7 millimeters. So this one is super tiny, and that's what I'm finally trying to see how that works. So as you can see, marker on this side and nothing on this because it was the 4 Candies pencil. And I think he looks like he's having fun. All right. So Traveling Tales Europe was the first Traveling Tales book I worked in, and this was also a untouched book, so another Color Your Hoard hashtag. The next one is Traveling Tales North America, and I've got a buddy color set up here in March, so I'm excited to see what we do with that. But this is the page I did, and sorry for the lighting, it's a little, the sun is kind of streaming through the sheer blinds here. But this page was done with markers, and then I used some highlighter, gel Bible highlighters, to go around the edge. And the highlighters that I'm talking about are these type. It says a Mr. Pen was one version, and Yisan was another. These are Bible highlighters, so they are gel. They go on really creamy. You can move them a little bit with a makeup applicator, like a sponge one, but really you just put it on and you wait for it to dry. It does take a while to dry, but afterwards it isn't sticky and it doesn't bleed through the paper. So it is a nice option to gel crayons if you don't have any of those. But regardless, the background here is I've started trying to do a bit of collage this year, and I have done some hand created paper that I purchased from an art supply company a couple of years ago now. I'm finally getting it put into use. And let me just, so I printed off a image of a maple leaf and traced it on top of the paper. I cut out the paper and then I traced him out on top of that. So it was kind of a 2-step process, but I'm really happy with the results. I then just glued the paper down, and so it's a little bit crinkly because this is Amazon type paper, but I'm really happy with the results. I think it looks great, and what is more Canadian than a beaver? So that was my first page in this book. The second page I did was part of showing you how I use the tempera paint sticks. This little guy, again, was the only thing, he's a fox, he was the only thing on the page, so I decided to draw a basketball behind him. I used my flat compass and then a fine liner and the tempera paint sticks. For this little guy here, I just used a variety of markers, and I'm happy with how he turned out, and I'm happy that I picked this as a background. So yeah, and the shading here is also just tempera paint sticks. I was just demonstrating that you can go on top of paint sticks with other paint sticks, and they layer rather than blend. Okay, so that's 2 pages done in Traveling Tales North America. And the hashtag Traveling Tales is on Instagram, and so I did submit all 4 of these pages for that hashtag. If you are following along on Instagram to see how other people are tackling these bold and easy coloring books, that's kind of a fun hashtag to follow. All right, still with small books. This is Sea of Colors by Angela Gonzalez. This book I am trying to finish. I started out with Amanda Colors and her color along. I've gone past a lot of the pages that they have done or are doing, so I've just been doing some on my own. So I did 2 pages this month. On this page I used a variety of mediums. I used some white pearl acrylic paint for the big eyes, and they shine when you move the page, so that's kind of fun. I also used a bunch of stickles in places. I hadn't used stickles for a while. I thought I would break those out. I used a variety of alcohol markers, some dual hybrid or silver pop metallic gel pens, and then I used Prismacolor pencils, and this is going towards my using up the pencils that I don't normally, the pencil sets that I don't normally use. So I really tried this month to get some use out of my Prisma pencils, which I normally really struggle with. This time I solely used an electronics sharpener, and it did much better, so hopefully that will help. On the ground here I did a bunch of stippling with different markers, and they were colors that I used up top. I brought them down to the bottom, and then at the end I brought in 2 different colors or 3 different colors of stickles and did dots with the stickles. So I'm actually really happy with how the sand turned out, and I'm happy with how this whole page turned out. I think it's just a fun, light-hearted page, and that's what a lot of Angela's illustrations bring to me. The big eyes are cute, and her pictures make me smile. I just wish the paper was better, but that's okay. We're dealing with that. And this is my second page. In fact, this page I did first, and I did the background plus quite a few of these items. So this here, the yellow here, the sponge up top, or the kelp, and the entire blue background is done with those gel highlighters. So I was testing out if they would work well on the paper. They didn't make the paper crinkle, so I was really happy with that. So I think that that is a really good option. I did use alcohol markers as well, so those bled through obviously, but it didn't crinkle and make the paper warped. So I was pleasantly surprised. I did use a little bit of gel pen on the thing, but I call this my Yellow Submarine page, and I was actually pretty happy with how it turned out. I actually went over this here with that pearlescent paint, so you can still see the pink color and green from underneath, and then the paint is on top, as well as the paint is on top for here, and you can see that. So 2 more pages done from this book. I now have 7 pages left in this book. There are a couple of pages at the very end that are activity pages that I have not counted as coloring pages, so I have 7 coloring pages left to finish off The Sea of Colors by Angela Gonzalez. 2 more books that are similar in size. This next one is a Lulu Mayo book, Kawai Tarot. I have been coloring along with Candace from Happy Catastrophe in her Color the Tarot series. So we are doing the major arcana with her. So I've been waiting for her next installment. So that will be Death once it comes. In the meantime, I've decided to go to the back to the minor arcana, I believe they're called, and I have done 2 pages in the coin series. So I've done the 3 of coins, and in this case I actually pulled out a Sarah Renee Clark color cube, and this is 206. I did add yellow to this to just brighten it up a little bit, but otherwise the background is again the highlighter. Then I used, for the pencils on this page, I used Prismacolor pencils, some Jelly Roll gel pens, some Zig brushables, the gel highlighter like I mentioned, and the gold Signo gel pen. So I'm trying to make all of the coins look the same in all of the pictures here, and also I used washi tape. So on this, the Ace of Coins and the 2 of Coins, I did with blue washi tape as well, and kept them similar for both sides. So I did the same here for both the 3 of Coins and the 4 of Coins. So that is how this one looks. Happy with how it turned out. A nice little carousel. I did use some Jelly Roll metallic gel pens along here and here, and up top, and you probably can't see it. Well, there's a little bit of shine there for you, but it was a fun page to do. And this is the second page that I did, and this time I grabbed some different color pencils. I grabbed my Create-A-Color Mega Color pencils, and I used both the metallic set and the regular set. The metallic set is the purple around here, and it isn't actually shiny, so a little bit disappointed because this is also metallic here. And then I used some Staedtler and some Pitt pens. I used some Lango gel pens to black out the some of the black lines, and a little bit of Jelly Roll. And I'm not sure what he is. I don't know if he's a chipmunk, but he's definitely not a squirrel. So again, I'm never sure what the animals are always with the Lulu Mayo books. So if you happen to know what this is, maybe it's another hamster, I don't know, leave that in the comments below, because I would love to know what I'm coloring. But otherwise, lots of little guys down here hiding among the foliage and stuff, and I was happy just to have some fun with a bit of color. It's a little bit disjointed color palette wise, but makes me smile, and that's all I really care about at this point. A little bit of gel highlighter for the background, but for the most part it was just some Pitt pens and the Create-A-Color Mega Color pencils. All right, and those are the 2 pages from Lulu Mayo's Kawai Tarot. This next book is a Color Your Hoard. This was a untouched book for me, and I tackled a page in here called the, I'll just give you the name, Whistling Pot Fairy House. So this Tiny Worlds is all about fairies. I did this as a 3-way buddy color with Jana from Color and Create with Jana, and Sherry from Sherry Dennewitz from Instagram. So I'm going to start with both those ladies' pages, and on screen first you will see Jana's page. Jana's used a yellow for her teapot, and I really love how she did her foliage all over the teapot and also the foreground. And I also really love her roof line. She did a fantastic job with the shingles, and I want to thank Jana for coloring with us in this 3-way buddy color. We do have a page set up for next month in another Tiny Worlds book, so I'm excited to continue my coloring journey with these 2 lovely ladies. This next page is by Sherry, and Sherry and I have colored in these books before, so I really appreciate her sticking with me and helping me tackle these books. I love her blue teapot. She did a great job on that, and she was the one who actually found that in the smallest window beside the main door there's actually a fairy in that window, and she found it. I did not see that before, so I want to thank her for finding the fairy and pointing it out, because I think in all of the pictures there is supposed to be a fairy somewhere on the page, but I definitely couldn't see it when I did mine. And then here's a look at my page. And my page, I used a few things. I used a little bit of markers. I also used, the pencils that I used were, I used Chromaflow pencils this time and some antiquarium stickers, and I used pan pastels in the background. So there are stickers on this page, and I'll point them out. Like I said, I'm trying a little bit of collage, and I had a bunch of these sticker books that I thought that I maybe try and incorporate into the page. So these clouds are stickers, the butterfly, some flowers up here on the roof line, flowers here and here, mushroom, and then I added a little fairy because I couldn't see the fairy in this window. So I added a little fairy to my page as well. And sorry for the lighting. And I used a kind of a peach colored teapot with a red and brown peach roof, and then foliage on the ground. And then I did some bordered around with the washi tape. So here's a look at all three of our pages. I love how all three pages are done wonderfully, and yet they're all so different, and we all picked different colors for our teapots. And again, thanks ladies, and I look forward to next month's page with you. All right, what else did I color? My first book, first page, so Color Your Hoard, was Forest Girls coloring book. Now this is not the original Japanese version by April. This is the new North American reprint that we could have ordered, or I did order from Amazon. And this is my first page, and it went from horribly wrong to okay. So I started off using water-based equaline markers for the tree, and that actually warped the paper quite a bit, and I was like, oh my goodness. So this paper does not take any kind of water medium at all. Even a water-based marker was not good on it. So then I pulled out my favorite pencil set, which is the polychromos, and those are the ones I'm most familiar with. So I tried to recover the page with that. I do think that the tree looks much better with the polychromos on top of the marker. And then I tried to do the girl, really not happy with how her face turned out. She kind of looks a little bit demonic or scary looking, but I tried a few things and I just kind of gave up on the end. I do like that I used the Lengua gel pens to go over a lot of the lines, especially on all of these little things that are hanging from here. This picture itself is called Making My New Year's Wish, and it was done in 2017. And yeah, so if you actually have the Japanese original version, you'll have a page on this side with the picture of it, and if you do have that book, you'll notice that this page did not turn out anywhere near that page. But I think if you didn't know what that other page is supposed to look like, you might think that this is maybe okay. I did put some clouds in the background with a couple of different ink pads, and yeah. So I did try and I persevere and push through to try and salvage the page, and I think I did that. But I think what I'm going to do in future, because this is just not great paper, and I'm disappointed in the book itself, I'm going to try using markers in here, and like alcohol markers, and maybe that would be a better, since it is single-sided, I think that might be another approach that I can do to make use out of this book. But this counts as one of my foreign coloring books, and like I said, it was a Color Your Hoard. All right, we are finally out of the big or the small book, so I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. This next book is Hannah Carlson, Gott Jewel, and this was a buddy color with Lisbeth47 from Instagram. I'm going to pop her page up on screen first, and she's actually sent me 2 pictures, so I'll include both of those. Elizabeth mentioned that she used lots of glitter pens and metallic markers to bring this page to life, and I think she did just that. And this is one of the first pages that we did in this book together, so I want to thank her for joining me on this book. And her moon is definitely bright and sparkly, so well done. Okay, so this is my page, and I used some white metallic pearlescent paint on the clouds, so maybe you can see that, I'm not sure. I also used some Lengua gel pens, and they are like acrylic paint gel pens, and so they covered up the lines. For the pencils, I used Neocolor 2 actually for the blue, and some polychromos and some macaron paint, pencils, and then dual hybrid metallic for the gold, and that's these gold stars. These stars here, I actually used the yellow glaze pen just for a little bit different. I used a different color glaze here, and a little bit of the clear stardust for some of these stones along here, and some of the sparkles in the moon. So I had fun. I do like the Neocolor. It didn't bleed through. It did feel like it warped the paper a little bit, but not terribly much. So this paper can handle a bit of water, and I am happy to have a page done in this book. This wasn't my first page. This was my first page. So although it's not a Color Your Hoard, it definitely is Joe Zohanna has Tackle Your Treasures 2025, and it goes for that. So thank you, Lisbeth, for coloring with me in Gott Jewel. All right, a couple more buddy colors coming up, but we're going to go to this page. Here I did this Kiwi page. This was done for February 6th, New Zealand Day. I actually posted on February 5th so that I could be in time for February 6th, which is celebrating New Zealand, because there's such a time difference. I used miscellaneous markers, some ink pads, ChromaFlow pencils, and some black glaze. And this was a page that was printed from wakethekids.com, and there is a full video on this, me coloring this page with a lot of different facts about the kiwi. And I also have pinned one of the comments on that video, so it's definitely worth going to check out, because the comment is from a fellow YouTube creator here. So the video itself is called Celebrate New Zealand Watangua Day, and I have pinned a comment from Amy Ward Art, who is a fellow YouTube creator, and she is also somebody from New Zealand, so she has a great explanation of what that day means to her and her country. So if you haven't checked out that video, check out that video and make sure that you give Amy's comment a read. All right, and thank you to Wake the Kids for having a free coloring page online for us. The next couple pages are from Maria Trolle's. I did this with a buddy color with Kiara, and yes, this is the same Kiara that I did the million cute animals with. And she wanted to start in this book because Jamie from Jamie's Coloring Love is doing a back to front coloring in this book. So I had to catch up because I missed last month. And so I did this page on my own because Kira had done it previously. I used the gel highlighters for the teapot. I used some Pitt pens, white pearl acrylic paint, ChromaFlow pencils, and some washi tape. So the white acrylic pearl paint is on the the Lily of the Valley flowers. So that's all along here. And then I've got Lengua gel pens on top of that. And then I've got, this is the washi tape from my Stationery Pal box number 1. And so that was this page. And then this page here, I kind of used the same similar color palettes to make them balance. And I also used the same washi tape. And this is the buddy page that we did. So again, I used ChromaFlow pencils, some highlighter for some of the foliage, and then the ChromaFlow pencils and the white pearlescent paint. And that's how my page turned out. Now take a look at Kiara's page. I love that she made her page look like a hanging picture. I thought that was brilliant. I love her colors that she used, and the foliage looks it looks very lush and excellent. And thank you so much, and I look forward. I believe we're just going to keep going backwards in order, unless I'm mistaken how this works. But I look forward to more getting done in this book by Maria Trolle. This next book is Nature's Sweet Moments by Jane Madej. I've only done a couple of pictures in this book, so I was happy when Cindy from Cindy Visor from Instagram asked me to buddy up with her in this book, and I will show you Cindy's pages first. Cindy used palette number 38, and I think that her palette choice was excellent. I love how she did her hearts that are there, her bird, like everything about this, and I really like how she did her leaves on her page. I think that it looks awesome. So thank you, Cindy, for that lovely picture. And here is my page. We did our birds totally opposite. I think hers was more like a cardinal or a robin, and mine is a blue jay. And I used pan pastels in the background with tempera paint sticks for the clouds, some markers, and some dual hybrid metallic. And yeah, so a lot of markers and a little bit of gel pen. And I'm pretty happy with how this page turned out. I really like how Cindy did her flowers though, and her leaves. I think that she did a much better job than I did. I did the markers, and then I shaded with ChromaFlow pencils this time. So I had lots of fun making some patterns on the hearts, but otherwise, another page done in this book. I think I have only 3 pages done in this book, and all 3 have been with buddies. So thank you, Cindy. The next book is my monthly entry for Amanda Colors and Megan's Coloring Corner, the Frogs and Friends. They pick a page every month. This was the page that was selected this month. I used alcohol markers, some acrylic red paint, and I stamped hearts on them. I had a little heart frame that I just added some paint to the outside and then stamped it. So that was kind of fun. I used a few of those tissue confetti dots, some triple thick glaze for the eyes, and the little highlights in the eyes here, and a couple of gel pens. So just some markers. And this here is the tempera paint sticks, actually, the blue part. So yeah, so I used the neon blue, so it's not shiny, but it is still transparent. And this is just a fun page that I tried to make it a little bit more Valentine's. Thank you to Amanda. And so that is Frogs and Friends Color Along. And then finally, we're getting to 2 books left. This is my 10 by 10 book for the month, and it is Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford. This is the page from Worlds of Wonder, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I used the background is tempera paint sticks, and it's the black metallic. This along here is Albert Durr watercolor pencils, and I did activate them with water. Staedtler pigment pens for the house and here, and then a little bit of Holbein white acrylic paint for the splashes, or the stars I should say, and a silver gel pen to draw back in the lines. That is the balloon lines holding up the house. So like how this went. I didn't do washi tape around. I thought that it looked good the way it was, and I was happy with the watercolor pencils. I had already done this page, but nothing bled through. So I was happy about that. And this is my one 10 by 10, which I'm trying to do a 10 by 10 page at least one a month. So I was happy, and I hadn't been in a Joanna Basford book other than Small Victories for quite a while. So I was happy to have this page turned out. And there is a little bit of shine on the background from the metallic tempera paint, but it's not overwhelming, and I think it just does look like a really nice night sky. All right, that brings me to the last book, and then I have 3 crafts to share with you. I was able to get a page done from the Peter Rabbit coloring book, and it was illustrated by Charles Santori. And this is the page I got done. Now, this page was done with some Derwent Light Fast pencils that I just picked up, some ChromaFlow pencils, and some Pitt pens. So a variety of those mediums. No alcohol markers can go in this book. A little bit of blue glaze pen for the water in his eye, but otherwise just those different pencils. And I was just trying those light fast pencils. I picked up 10 different ones, so I was trying them on, like the green is the light fast, and yeah, so happy with how that turned out. Making sure no bleed through, because this is a storybook that I plan on passing on. So that was one page, and now I have 4 pages left. Yeah, 4 pages left. And that's Peter Rabbit. So that's it for my coloring pages. If that's what you've been here for, then thank you so much for sticking around. If you would like to see, I did do 3 crafts. One of them is my 2025 Diamond Art Club calendar, and I completed the page for March, so I'm ready for March. And it is a watering can with a bouquet of flowers on top. And this is a diamond painting calendar where this part is not diamond painting, only a portion of the picture. And so it doesn't take a whole lot, but I am doing this with my sister. She also has the calendar, and we spend quality time together visiting and doing some diamond art. So that's that one completed. I also was able to complete my first ever cross stitch, so I'm really happy with this. I am now going to frame it and hang it up in my office. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It did come with a pattern on it with the key on the side pre-printed, and after you're done you wash it just like in the sink, and hopefully all the dye comes out, and it actually did. So I was a little bit nervous about that because this is my first one ever, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I think it's a beautiful picture. The scene came the way it was on the picture, so I was really happy with that. And I'm positive that this is from One Day Savings. So this is something that I was sent a couple of years ago now, and I have finally gotten to it. I started it in January and finished it in February, so I think that that actually was a pretty good time frame. And my last one is a Loops and Threads crocheted animal, and this is, it looks like this, and it was a bulldog. And I altered it a little bit to match my sister's dog, Charlie, because this is going to go to her. So I changed the patch on his eye because he has a larger, and it's on the opposite eye. So this is Charlie. And I actually put a squeaker in it too. So my dog Daisy is quite interested in it. But yeah, so this is not a dog toy because it is got eyes and stuff. So it's not for playing with, but my sister will enjoy it, and her dog is getting kind of old, so I thought that it would be a nice keepsake for her. So this is the sister that also diamond paints, so I know she does appreciate crafts, and I'm not sure that I would buy another Loops and Thread crochet kit. There were quite a few issues with the pattern, and I did have to modify it to make it work, but yeah, happy with the final results. And yeah, I think he's kind of a cute and adorable in a quirky bulldog kind of way. So those are my crafts for this month. I hope you had an enjoyable crafting time or coloring time for yourself this month. I hope I didn't bore you with how many pages I got done. I was surprised with how productive I was this month. I guess cold winters in Canada make staying inside and getting coloring done a little bit easier than when it's beautiful and nice outside. So with that, I hope you have a creative and colorful week. I will see you next week with another video. Let me know in the comments below if you had a favorite picture from today, or if you have a favorite book that you're coloring in yourself. I'd love to hear what you're up to. All right, again, if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you are someone who has not yet subscribed but feel like joining the channel and our coloring community, by all means, hit the subscribe button. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.